I'm an Israeli citizen, and I'm a friend of Bipin Joshi's family. I'm advocating for him because he doesn't have a family in Israel. He's a Nepalese citizen, and he was taken hostage in Israel, but his family lives far away in Nepal on the border with India. And in my opinion, they are voiceless. I mean, we support them, the Israeli people, but over the past 20 months, his family is very quiet, peaceful. It was very important for them to stay that way because they were relying on both governments to do the efforts to bring him back. And now when there's a new deal on the table, I think that things have changed a little bit because it's the money time. It's time to put some more pressure on governments to address the Americans and to bring him home. He was kidnapped from Kibbutz Alumim. He arrived to Israel 3 weeks before he was taken hostage. He's a very, very intelligent young man. He loves music, and he was elected to take part of a program called Learn and Earn. And the whole point of it was to come to Israel for 1 year, get educated on agriculture and to work in the kibbutz, and then to bring back that knowledge to Nepal to help them with better nutrition. So he knew that he's coming to Israel only for 1 year. And when October 7 happened, they were inside the kibbutz. They were in a shelter, hiding from the terrorists. The terrorists started throwing hand grenades. Even in the darkest hours, he was able to reach out and to help his friends. Some of them owe him their lives. But he was taken. He's the only one that was taken alive. They murdered 10 of his friends that day. The only sign of life that his family has was from October 7th, from El Shifa Hospital. He was taken over there walking. It seems like he was okay on the surveillance camera. And ever since, his family is waiting for a sign of life.
And that's never come?
No, no. He is considered to be alive with a severe concern for his life. His family is very traditional, very faithful. They believe he's alive. We believe he's alive. And we will do anything to bring him back.
Tell me a bit about his family.
He comes from a very, very simple family. Both of his parents are teachers. His father actually worked very far away from home, and since October 7th, he's not working anymore. He came back home. He's got an 18-year-old sister. She was 17 when he was kidnapped. It's a small family, but in Nepal, the circles are closer. So he has many cousin brothers. They call them cousin brothers because they are like siblings. So he has many other siblings who feel very attached to him.
And do they have access to internet, that kind of thing?
They have access to internet. They, all the information they get is from foreign media and from their representative from the IDF and the Prime Minister office.
I mean, in a way, it almost feels like he's bottom of the lists as a foreign national from a country that doesn't have a huge amount of international power and not being an Israeli citizen.
Yeah, a lot of people are working behind the scenes to get him free, but they met the president and a lot of diplomats from Nepal many times, but they do feel that it's not enough. It's just not enough. I mean, 21 months have passed. The Israeli officials say that they work very hard to get everyone released, and I believe they do. But, you know, reality tells us different things. when you look at the Thai workers, when you look at Idan Alexander, you see that other nationalities can come in handy, and for them, it doesn't work. So they have realized that it's time to address the Americans, to find other ways to bring him home.
There's talk of a ceasefire.
Mm-hmm.
Probably only 10 people getting released. I mean, is he likely to be part of that cohort?
It's a very difficult question. We cannot play that guessing game. We cannot be a part of this selection. We don't approve it. His family calls for one deal for all. I think that all of the families are calling for the same message, one deal for all, because it is too painful. It is just too painful to think about what if. So we focus on bringing him home regardless of the details of the deal. I believe that because he is a foreign citizen, putting him on a different list could come in handy. It is devastating to say, but when people are released out of goodwill and people make deals in creative ways, there is a possibility to do that. I do believe that they can do that. We need to put more pressure on them. And I refuse to make this thing a political issue or a selection or anything like that.
You know, these individuals, but the wider politics has a huge impact on what happens to them. There's talk of a ceasefire. Equally, Prime Minister Netanyahu says he's not going to stop, at least he says he's not going to stop until Hamas is eliminated. Do you think he's got his priorities right there? Do you think there needs to be more focus on just getting the hostages home?
For the hostages' families, the hostages is the main priority. For the people of Israel, the hostages is the main priority. I don't know anyone among my friends and my family who don't think so. You know, we've lost so many people and we're still losing soldiers, risking their lives over there. We cannot deal with this war anymore. We need to bring our people back. And in order for our people to heal, we have to bring them back. I do believe that we can do more. We can do more. And they are our top priority.
You know, you talk about doing more. There is a lot of upset amongst the families and friends of hostages about what they consider to be a kind of lack of support over the past couple of years, a lack of making them the priority. Can you tell me a bit about that experience? You're someone who kind of has to liaise with the families and liaises with Bipin's family. What has that experience been like? And because people here don't really get to see that side of things, why do they feel let down?
I think that so much time have passed. They feel like it's old news, it's yesterday's news. And people are so, they deal with a lot of issues in their own lives. People are going for reserve and they serve for 400 days and they get back home to broken homes and to bankrupts and to financial difficulties. Sometimes it's too much to handle, and I get that. I truly get that. But it could be my son. It could have been your brother. So, in my opinion, they should always be in front of our minds, our heart, our soul. They always need to be the topic on the table, always. And we cannot let them be alone in that matter because it's not their fight. It's Israel's fight. It's all of the take hostages fight, and I just think that putting it aside and just getting used to this as a permanent status, it's doing wrong for us as a society, not for the hostages' families. They are fighting their fight anyways, but we as a society, we need to have our values, you know, and just keep it in mind all the time. And his family is so far away. We have different culture. His parents don't speak English. His sister speaks English, and she's almost 18. She's the only one who is doing interviews. Everything is on her shoulders. She's just a young teenager when you think about it. And this distance status, it's breaking their heart. They don't know how we live in Israel. They don't understand the conflict. And it's heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking. They just want their son back.
There's been so much world attention on Gaza and the suffering that's happening there. Do you think in a way that's kind of displaced some of the sympathy and awareness of the situation of the hostages?
I don't know. I think that whenever I see people trying to make this thing a political thing, whenever people are trying to divide and conquer and to split us as a society, I think we need to stay away from these people and to remind ourselves that...
I mean, I guess the question is more, do you think that because of Gaza and the attention there at the moment, that kind of international sympathy has moved away from the hostages and they haven't stayed in the limelight as they had been at the beginning?
The status of the Israel government and the status of this war always attracts fire from abroad. I cannot be the ambassador of my country. I always tell other people when I tell them Bipin's story, I don't represent my government. I don't represent any political, stand. I represent a person. He's got a name. He's not a poster. He's got a family who waits for him. And it always needs to be like that. I will keep my opinions to myself, but you have to get to know Bipin in order to feel empathy for him and the need of him to come back home. And I think that the Israeli society understands that. But it's very hard for us to see the propaganda outside of Israel and to feel like we are trying to express our pain, but people are reacting with, the comments are irrelevant. They're irrelevant for the family's pain. They're irrelevant for us as a society. So I'm trying to avoid that.